Laptop went dead. I'm pretty sure you guys, if you don't or don't know that situation, then yeah, my laptop is gone to shit. But yeah, episode 73 of Inside the Rapper Studio. Today we got Mariah Fortune on. We're gonna be doing some solid work with that. Talking about a few things she has going on. This is a hard-working person here. Talking about her band, Woven In. Talking about event coordinating, out-of-town shows, Cat Body Space, Alt Beijing, Black Creative Redistribution Funds. It's a lot of things going on with this one. I'm gonna invite Mariah on in a second. Still doing giveaways. We gave away from last week. We got 2 passwords so far. Giving away a 3rd one today. Yeah, you know the huge around here on Inside the Rapper Studio. Might as well send the invite at this point. Well, there you go. You can go ahead and send a request in. I'm pretty sure nobody's ever recognized the fact that I have entrance music now, but yeah, I have entrance music now. So yeah, please shouts out to Beth Van. Don't password thing that we talked about, but what can you say? It's all good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Another exciting episode of Inside the Rapper Studio, episode 73 to be exact. Of course, I'm your host, Swayze, and today we have a very, 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 very special guest in the building. One of the hardest working people that I know, quite frankly. Founder of Alt Beijing, founder of Cat Body Space, runs the band Woven In, Black Creatives Redistribution Fund, and overall just pretty much a machine behind. So everybody, please drop hearts, drop likes, drop comments for the one, the only, Mariah Fortune.
Hello, everybody. Thanks
I don't have.
for having me on here.
Don't sweat it. How you feeling, Mariah?
I'm feeling pretty good, well rested. Remember, I had posted a comment earlier that said I didn't sleep last night because I was so excited for this opportunity, and that was the truth. Probably got about 2 hours of sleep last night, but I took a nap today before this all started, so I'm recharged.
I'm gonna need a whole full 8 hours after this. We we don't play games about that rest over here.
No, not at all. Need that beauty sleep.
Absolutely. So for every episode of Inside the Rapper Studio, there's an origin story told from the bottom of the screen. So could you tell us how everything got started for you musically, foundation-wise, booking-wise? It's a lot of things to talk about. It is a lot of things to talk about.
Yes.
I feel like interview where so I can actually run for 45 minutes and still leave out some information.
Yeah, I feel that way as well. So in 2013, I started a solo music project called Woven In, and I was living in Florida at the time. Now, I was playing lead guitar in a band prior to Woven In, but that was with other members, and it had fell through. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of this stuff. I'm just going to start singing and playing my own songs. So it kind of birthed out of that frustration. Just making songs in my bedroom and putting together, small projects with, just like doing songs and getting other local musicians when I was living in Jacksonville, Florida, to like help me play that live. So then I moved to Atlanta, continued doing Woven In. Then I moved back to my hometown, which is Philadelphia, after Atlanta, still doing Woven In. Then I moved to Brooklyn, still doing Woven In. Now I live in Baltimore, still doing Woven In, and a myriad of other things. It just felt really good to be in Baltimore because all these other creative projects kind of just happened once I moved here. So there's got to be something here that's really bringing that creativity out of me. So just happy about that.
Absolutely. It's one of those things that really make you think. As a vagabond of an artist that kind of just goes from like city to city, state to state, and really doing your thing, and just kind of making like I guess headquarters here within Baltimore. How is it kind of just staying still for a second in comparison to just moving around?
It definitely is nice. I do like, I mean, there's pluses to moving around. I know a lot of people, and that is like my heart. Like, I love getting to know new people, so I wouldn't trade that experience for anything. But also, just staying put has been good for my mental health. I was kind of moving around in search of something, but I didn't know or something. I don't know. I'm still actually trying to figure that out. But just staying put has definitely benefited me creatively and mentally.
Gotcha. Is Braxton acting up back there?
He's not acting up. He's just saying hello.
I wish I had the applause button for this episode, but computer's down. But everybody, please drop hearts, drop likes, drop comments for the one, the only Braxton. Uh, cat within cat body. Uh,
Yes.
so now that we're on the topic of cat body, could you tell us how everything got started with this venue?
um. So, all right. So I kind of had in the back of my mind just as like one thing I wanted to do one day is like do a music venue. So it really just all kind of came to a head when I saw this space for rent, and I was like, oh, that's the spot. Like, that's the spot. That's the one in a lifetime chance I got right now. So went ahead and got it. It was really ugly in here. Walls were like this industrial blue. Had to paint it black. um, yeah, it just honestly it just came out of it dropped out of the sky. So I seized the moment.
Gotcha. It took a lot of work for you to like build that space, even bringing in people from out of town, correct?
Oh yeah. Yeah, plenty of people who came from out of town. Actually my friends, Evan and yeah, they came from Florida on the one of the nights. I can't remember, it was the opening night or the yeah, it was the opening night. Yeah, my friend Rachel came, and they I know them from high school, so it was just like that was a really big deal. I've had performers come and play from out of town. Mosaic the Animated came from Delaware, and we played a show together. My friend Stacia, who's here, she actually took some pictures at that night, that show, and she came from DC. So it's just like everyone kind of just like coming together. During these different walks in my life, and it's just been a great hub for that. I mean, while shows were happening, it was it was great, but you know, it is what it is.
Gotcha. Um, how many shows have you done with Cat Body so far?
Uh, I think about 5 shows so far. Yeah, yeah, about 5. I had some planned, but of course, COVID-19 kind of interrupted that. But it's all good. I am a shapeshifter, so
Absolutely. I feel like you would have to be a shapeshifter with the amount of hats and the amount of masks that you wear for like pretty much not just music wearing, which is like keyboard and playing guitar and singing and songwriting and things like that, but even things outside of that, which is the business end, such as like actually running a venue and actually bringing people through and putting people on a showcase and things like that.
yeah.
So, well, huge commencement to you and congratulations on all the success of Cat Body. And I will actually give you a formal thank you of letting me perform at the opening night at Cat Body. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that too. Tell me how I was on the first show for Cat Body.
Well, if we're gonna talk about the first show, I guess it would be the pre-opening party, which was in December. Yes, I do produce too. And then Stacia also said something about the other community activities I do at Cat Body, which is craft work, which is a crafting night, and I do like an open mic. But then, okay, fast forward. I just wanted to get that in there. Yeah, the pre-opening night, which was in December. Um, I think it was like mid-December. I had Safra DJ, who's a very very awesome DJ in person. And I had so it was like a DJ. What else happened that night? People were dancing. It was packed that night. It was really awesome. I don't know. It was just like such a great welcoming experience. I was just like, oh, it's not even opening yet. And people just were coming and saying how welcome they felt in the space. And they just really liked how I curated things. So that was really positive feedback for me and to just like fuel me to keep that going.
Gotcha. So that was the pre-opening night, and then we had opening night where you actually had people coming in from like out of town,
Right,
such as your
right.
Vastness and your Lady Velours, pretty much them on tour and legit hosting them, bringing them in, and having them perform on the set. How is it hosting people from out of town and having you pretty much like roll the red carpet out and letting them perform on stage?
Well, it's just throwing parties is just like one of the things I love to do. So
That
honestly,
is
it's
true.
just like a little reunion mixed with like a culmination of like these nostalgic feelings because it's like, oh, I've played with these people in other states and other cities, and it was just really miraculous to have all those people come together that night. And like you said, Lady Velour, who I knew when I lived in Florida, we met in Savannah because she used to live in Savannah, and that's only a 2 hours drive from where I used to live in Florida. And so reconnecting with her up here in the north, it's just that's been a whole other experience. That's like you never know who's gonna recycle like back into your life and just like treat everybody well. And I mean, anyway, treat everybody well anyway. But also, it's just like, wow, that's like amazing that that happened so organically. And I just want to give a shout out to Lady Velour also because she helped me paint the walls in here, which was a very big feat. And also Eli Hernstadt helped me paint the walls as well. Um, so yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that.
Gotcha. So moving on to event coordinations and doing out of town shows, you've obviously, as you stated before, you've went to different cities such as Jacksonville, Brooklyn, Philly, Baltimore, and things like that to perform. I wanted to know how much excitement is it compared to like performing at home, which is where you're from, which is in Philly, in comparison to like everywhere else out of town.
You know, it's really weird when you play where you've lived, I guess, because it's almost like sadly it feels like they overlook you. So I actually feel that way in Baltimore too. Like, yeah, I live here, and sometimes when I play shows, I feel like people aren't really peeping, and it's like, all right, y'all gonna miss out, and then I'm gonna be tumbleweed somewhere else. Y'all gonna be like, damn, should have checked out Woven. Now I got to pay money and go fly out and see her. See, so so the I wouldn't even say that same sentiment is like only for Philly. Like I also feel that way about when I go back to Jacksonville and play a show. Like I mean, it's cool, but it's like when I was there, y'all didn't really give me the time of day, and then you move away, and then I go back to like because I'm on tour, and it's like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that happens everywhere. I mean, it's just it is that's the sentiment.
That's what I always say. It's just showbiz.
hmm
Uh, for the places that you didn't play, I guess your dream play in. Man, Braxton is meowing it up right there.
Right. All right. I might go outside. He might shush me
Uh,
out.
it's all good. So for the places that you didn't play, for the places that you want to play, what would you say is the number one place you would love to play, or I guess a venue you would love to play one day?
Madison Square Garden. I mean, that is a venue I really want to play. A place that I really want to play is, I guess, anywhere in the UK. Since I do get a good bit of attention from fans and just like random people reaching out from the UK. So I feel like I'm like, damn, I need to go over there. I, I actually haven't mentioned this, but there's a comedian by the name of James Acaster. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he actually mentioned me in his book, and I'm like, that's wild. And he's from over there, so I got to get over there.
Who is that guy?
He's a comedian. he's his sense of humor kind of reminds me of maybe like Conan O'Brien in a way. Um, dang, let me hold on. This guy.
I've seen that book when I was there before. Um,
Yeah, he
how,
mentions woven in
like,
this book.
you guys ever like meet?
No,
Because for never,
never met. Never met. Hit me up in my email.
and he put you. What was the mention of woven in the book?
Well, basically, the email was very heartfelt. He was like, you know, that I was going through a breakup and I was listening to one of your albums, yada yada. He was going on a just like a listening, like a new music like binge, and it's like I came across your music and it was really impactful, yada yada, and then just drops my name in the book. So, hey, I'm with
Nice.
it. I'm with it.
That's publication. That's what that is. That's fucking tight. How'd you feel like legit seeing woven inside like printed books?
I mean, it's exciting, but also I know that's just the beginning. So I'm not a very humble person, but yeah, I mean it's an awesome opportunity. I am very thankful for that, but I'm very much reaching for the stars here, and so that's just one mention. You know, got to
Gotcha,
keep
gotcha.
it rolling.
I can appreciate that. Well, first of all, a huge shout out to you for even allowing me to interview you during this process and pretty much having me ask you these insightful questions. I'm gonna give a huge shout out to everybody that's in the live right now. Huge shout out to Rusty. Huge shout out to Monty G. Shout out to Killer, Mosaic Reanimated. Huge shout out to Baby by Barry Lutalo. Who else we got? Tony Sound, Title D Chang. Bringing in a little thick skin suit. Got a little cloud on it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So, Woven In. What is? How'd you get the name Woven In, by the way?
Um, so I get this question a bit, and I did okay. There was some things that happened that were interconnected, and you know I was in Florida, and it just seemed like people were weaving in and out of my life, and I just honestly just it came out of nowhere. I was just like, well, I wanted to use the word woven. I wanted to use that word. And that itself is just like kind of a throwback to wicker furniture at my grandmom's house, and just like the word woven just means a lot to me. And it's my name starts with an M and upside down is a W, so I just like was kind of going off of that. And I was like, well, I don't just want to be woven. I want to be woven something. So then woven in came from that.
Gotcha, gotcha. You previously mentioned that you were in a band for Woven.
Yeah, I was. Wait. Am I breaking up?
You were kind of like lagging for a bit. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. So, how was the experience in between the first band that you were in and being in Woven, like a full fledged like body of art and an actual brand?
Um, I need you to repeat the question. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
that's fine. So, how is it being in difference between being in that first band and the band that you're in now, which is Woven In, which is like its own entity and its own like brand?
Oh, okay. So I guess the a huge difference is having creative direction, and knowing what I'm doing, and having full control over that. Whereas that when I was in that previous band, I was literally just playing lead guitar, and it was kind of stifling my growth because I mean I'm a multi instrumentalist, so just getting stuck on lead guitar was not going to help me grow. And yeah, and just like getting to tour to places that I want to see and meeting the people I want to meet rather than where that last band wanted to go and the people they wanted to meet. So it's just, yeah, being the captain of my own ship is, a better experience.
Gotcha, gotcha. So, with that creative direction, do you feel as though that's made you somewhat of a better artist? Because a lot of the times when it comes to artistry, people would rather have somebody lead the ship, or they would just like do their own work and just have everybody just pass it around. So, how is it being in that DIY space, whereas though you do everything, including the creative direction?
I mean, I really can't see it any other way. I feel like that's the ultimate goal for if anybody wants to take music seriously, it's like you have to be in the front seat. Like, um, I, I, I definitely respect bands and stuff, and I honestly don't know how they even do it. Like, how do you get 4 to 5 people to all move in the same stride? I don't even know. So I commend those people, but that's not for me. Um, I've tried to make that work, and it's just a very distinct sound that I'm going for with Woven In. It's a very distinct message that I'm trying to deliver with Woven In. So it can't be muddled by other people's objectives.
Absolutely, that definitely works. It shows within the music that you do create and things like that. Like even with the jam session we had that one time, whereas though I'm legit just like doing stuff on like Garage Band and just making chords and stuff, and you come in with the very like avant-garde chords and just coming through with like sounds that I haven't heard like from any other like strings. Period. Um, what would you say is the credit towards your creativity within your music?
Just being insatiable about music has been a really big influence. So, um, since I've been doing Woven In since 2013, but it's like my influences have changed over the last 7 years, definitely. But it's like the thing that's constant is that I'm always ingesting more music, um, and like changing my sound depending on the mood and my age and just like my new experiences. So yeah, just being insatiable about all that stuff has always impacted my music. Um, if you're looking for artists in particular within those years, I guess I mean, I always have really liked. I've always liked new wave music, '80s new wave. Um, I remember when I was, underage and dancing at a club. I'm not going to name the club. Down in Florida. People might know what I'm talking about. But anyway, just being there and listening to like some of that new wave stuff is just like I was like, oh, this really slaps. Like, that's why I first heard New Order, and from that moment, I was just like, oh, like this is the sound I want my guitar. Like, this is the mood that I want my guitar to make. Not necessarily the sound, but this is the mood I want to go for. Um, then fast forward, like, becoming an adult and getting to see New Order 2 times, one time for free. So I just like have really, I really love that band. But also just like staying true to my roots is like, I love that stuff and that's not going nowhere. But over time, it's like appreciating like a lot of different genres because I really do feel like some musicians or some bands or whatever will get so fixated on like, okay, these are our influences and this is our sound. Like, and I'm not like that. So I would say New Order to start with. I really like the Cramps. I love Tony Braxton, of Janet Jackson, Rhythm Nation era. I mean, I love Janet Jackson, um, any era, but particularly that era. That look, that attitude. Um, And let's see, I really love Anita Baker. And I love Kanye West. The synth sounds that he chooses are so artistically just beautiful. Just like really nostalgic feeling to like old, like video games. Like, what? Also have to like bring up that my mom was a video game store manager when I was a kid, and so that was in like the late 90s. So I like a lot of old 90s video games. And I do feel like some of those soundtracks kind of influence my music taste as well, where I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really nice like, synth beat or anyway, you get what I'm saying.
I do get what you're saying. Now that we're on the topic of video game OSTs, we gotta dive into this. Okay, so give me your top three OSTs that you influence your sound.
Sonic,
Okay, okay.
Sonic, Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's see. Road Rash. Road
Mm.
Rash. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a badass soundtrack. um, let's see. Maybe now this might be a stretch, but I did play a lot Ikaruga. Um,
You're gonna have
that
to break that.
that yeah. I mean, honestly, I just really like that game. It might not even be the sound for me. I'm just like, ooh, black and white, like visually, like anything black and white. I'm like, yes, yes, want that. So yeah, those just a few games.
Gotcha. I feel like with the Genesis era of like video games, a lot of them really did take like pretty much whatever was on like black radio at the time. Like a lot of people don't know that most of Sonic the Hedgehog was really just covering songs that was already hot, such as what was it? Spring Yard Zone. Spring Yard Zone on Sonic 1 was actually a cover of Bobby Brown's Every Little Step I Take.
No way, I didn't know that. You dropping
Yeah.
gems right now. You dropping gems.
It's the same thing as like every little step I take. Be that like they legit like just
Wow.
even in Streets of Rage 2. In Streets of Rage 2 with Yuzo Koshiro, the sound director of Sega Genesis and that game, he took Crystal Waters' She's Homeless, the song, like, oh shit, how'd it go, god damn it. Like it took the same thing as the La Da Di La Da Da song from like old house music and stuff like that, which was
Wow.
actually produced by a duo set in Baltimore, Maryland.
Hey, it comes full
Yeah,
circle.
believe believe it or not, the sound moves all the way from Baltimore to even Japan. So huge shouts out to everyone that's been pretty much working hard within the 90s, even to the now. Uh, First of all, thank you so much for even joining me on this live and having me answer you these TMG your business questions. Give a few shouts outs to everybody that's in the live right now. A few shouts out to Mac. Shouts out to who else we got? Stuck on Yanni. Shouts out to Diesel Mac. Diesel's in the building. Shouts out to Gisella. Who else we got in here? Peace Russie. Nice little crowd. I really appreciate it. We're gonna shift gears. I know you're across already. Shift gears and talk about a few things that you're doing outside of the music, not just with Cat Body, not just with Woven In, but something that I was involved in as well, which is Alt Bay Zine. So,
Oh yeah.
how about how you got started with Alt Bay Zine?
So Alt Bay, first of all, this is the first zine I've ever done before. Zines have been really helpful in me like getting to know more people just outside of just music, like networking. So I started doing Alt Bays in 2018. And since then, there's been 5 issues out so far. But basically, every issue has. Hold on, I have to pet him. Every issue has about 8 to 10 people that are all like telling their stories about just like their creativity, and I have a few I want to show. Also, hold on 1 second.
Oh no, this is perfect. Good. Oh,
Oh shit! Hold on, I gotta grab my cat. He just tried to run outside. Get
it's all
inside.
good.
Get inside. All right. Thanks. Okay, so some of so this was the first one. Let's see, and there's a few. This is I want to give you a shout out on here. This is the issue you were in.
Ah, look at that face, man.
And this was the cover to that one. And then the latest issue is this one here. Um, there's yeah, like I said, there's about 8 to 10 stories in each. And yeah, I've just been connecting with people in different ways. So inside of there's also, besides just the stories, there's also like Black-owned businesses that you can support. There's Black-owned, just like networking with like photographers and things like that. So it's like kind of a little bit of everything, like a one-stop shop if you try to meet more Black creatives. And it also has other people of color as well. Actually, through doing the zine, I also do the like Zine Fest. I mean, before COVID-19, there used to be Zine Fest, and I would meet people that way as well. So that was just like a whole nother experience that I've like never really delved into until 2018, and that's where I got to meet some of my closest friends that I have today. So yeah, just really thankful for that, for doing the zine and having all these people respond to me.
I
Because
think we're pretty
I just
thankful.
want to say, just without them, there would be no zine. So I just like really appreciate the contributors.
Absolutely. I feel like if without you, we wouldn't have a zine to even like deal with because like you're doing a lot of connecting of the dots. So like a lot of people that wouldn't have a certain sound be pushed to the masses, or a lot of people wouldn't have a certain look that's pushed towards the masses. You're doing it with your own resources. You're doing it with your own work, and pretty much being the press that people need press for. So, how does it feel to kind of like, I guess, spread the word of people that aren't heard, and be the voice of the voiceless?
I mean, as a person who that has been my reality, I just I feel like I have to use my talents for good. And if I think my talent, well, I know my talent is bringing people together. So I ultimately want to bring more Black people together and more people of color together. It's like, because we are all experiencing very similar things, and we're all kind of getting, pushed to the side and stuff. So I just want to highlight our achievements, and that's what it's about. It's like togetherness. So we're not going to get nowhere singularly.
Absolutely. I think the whole theme of like pretty much Alt Bay is straight up unification. Whereas though like a lot of the times where pretty much when we were younger, like we would have like our certain like pockets of people who like listen to certain music or dress a certain way or look a certain way or think a certain way. And a lot of the times they get ostracized or they get pushed to the side because it's not monolithic like most like Black experiences. And I feel like the one thing that Alt Bay really does, it reintroduces these alternative viewed Black people within that same Blackness.
Right.
And it's really appreciated because there's like a lot of like confusion that comes around with like being in a scene like that. You know what I mean? So first of all, huge shout out to you for even bringing that back to the place where it started, which is us, and also a huge shout out to you to even spreading the word. So I guess the question that I have for you is, how does it feel, kind of like reclaiming the thing that we started that kind of just got pushed out to other people?
Um. Well, I mean, I would say it feels good, but also it just feels necessary. So, um, if I'm a strong believer of us telling our own stories, and Hollywood and different forms of media is not going to tell the Black experience the way we're going to tell it. So I feel like if my calling right now is to, note those experiences, then that's my calling right now. And to put it in a tangible format, I just feel like online is not as impactful for me personally. Is not as impactful for getting the word out. Like there needs to be something tangible that our experiences can be referred to, and not just like online. Because one day, you never know, that stuff can come all crashing down one day,
Good.
And yeah, I want to bury these, maybe put them in a time capsule or something like that, or shoot them off into space. I want this to be accessible for later generations, and then they can make it better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's very necessary work that you're doing within alt-based and the work that you put in for like younger generations of Black folks that like listen to music like outside of hip hop and R&B like that. It's very necessary for us to tell them that that's our that's where it starts with us. We were the first. We were the first Mohicans, first ones with the Mohawk. Like that was kind of our thing, and to have it like redistributed and reprocessed and pretty much gentrified, nonetheless.
Right.
And for us to like try to reclaim that is very necessary. Do you feel as though the work that we're putting in, like reclaiming that music or reclaiming that sound or look or aesthetic, is a necessary fight?
Um. Yeah. I mean, it is. It is. Uh. It's also important that we just know that. Yeah. It's like things get recycled over time, but to pay homage to the beginning is always necessary. So, yeah, it's important. It's very much important. It might just be style to someone, but it's history and it's culture for other people. So, just to have that constant reminder is necessary because it can definitely get lost in the sauce.
As we've seen through history, absolutely. Great answer, by the way. I don't want to break fourth wall, but that was a great answer to that. I want to shift gears and talk about the last thing I wanted to mention within this interview, which is something very important, which is exactly why I even shaped it for this in advertising, which is the Black Creatives Redistribution Fund. Um, as of late, with COVID-19 pretty much coming through and ruining like the lives and the venues and the things of that nature, creatives don't really have enough spaces to pretty much get paid.
Right.
And the Black Creators Redistribution Fund is a solution towards that problem. So, could you elaborate to us how?
So I want to make sure you can hear me, because it was cutting out a little bit. We good?
Yeah, we.
Okay. Um, so yeah, as a person who's been uh, underpaid in the creative realm, even while things were quote unquote normal, it's always been like in the I wouldn't even say the background. It's been the forefront of my mind. It's like, okay, I can't be getting taken advantage of. Like, gotta get paid, for this content and this creativity. So just honestly, Black Creatives Redistribution Fund, Black CR Fund is what I call it for short. Really was birthed out of that frustration. I kind of birthed a lot of ideas out of frustration. I don't know if you noticed that theme, but yeah, it was just like, COVID-19 really put a halt to a lot of things. And it's just like, um, I know I can't be the only one that's experiencing like, oh my gosh, like the uncertainty of like being a musician, of being a person that runs a venue, just, excuse me, just like there has to be a way to redistribute these funds. It's like some people are like really willing to help, and it's just like bridging that gap between the people that want to help and the creators. So I just thought that was a really important thing to do. I got really stoked on the idea. Honestly, just like the recent killings of unarmed blacks just really kind of lit my fire in a way. It's just like, all right, like I gotta put stuff in gear, and make something beautiful happen, out of these tragedies. Just the pain I was feeling from these tragedies, rather. So it was just a culmination of feelings and events that led to Black CR Fund. So far, I have redistributed about $600 back
Ooh.
into Black creators' pockets, and that has been through direct redistribution, like taking people's Venmos and Cash Apps and stuff, and like taking that in, or excuse me, getting allies to contribute. First, they contribute money to the fund, and then I redistribute it. So that has been through paying Black artists for their content online. Like if I'm reposting their content, I pay them for that because that's our intellectual property. Like we're
Word.
saying, if we're spitting something true and it meant something to me, it might mean something to somebody else. So I pay for that. Sometimes I just send money outright because it's like we deserve that. Just a little inspiration to keep on going. Like this could be a really like defining time for someone to be like, oh, you know what? Like I don't know if I want to keep being a musician, or I don't want to know if I want to keep doing art. And just like that little spark of like, hey, I'm gonna pay you real quick just to like, keep your light going, because it can be discouraging. So, but doing that, and then paying for people's music, as well, and art, and yeah, it's just been really fun. Honestly, it's become addicting, really, because it's like I've discovered a lot of people, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like you make such good art. Like I want this, I want that, and I've got new vinyl, new tapes, and shirts and stuff. So that's one aspect of Black CR Fund, is taking the contributions and redistributing them. The other side of it that I'm still fleshing out is that it's going to be a marketplace of Black creatives, like products. So in turn, that could be, but not limited to, like visual art, maybe books or poems that are printed out. Um, let's see, music on a tangible form, T-shirts, like that kind of stuff. Clothing, like face mask or whatever people are making, whatever Black people are making. Like I'm trying to have it on the website. I'm gonna come up with a website. Um, there's a friend of mine who actually wants to use his talents to like as an ally to help like further the movement. So his name's Benedict, and he's going to make the website. So I just want to give him a big shout out and thank you for that. So people are being inspired and intrigued by Black CR Fund, and it's really cool to get such positive responses. Because yeah, people want to see Black people do well, and that's the bottom line. And they just needed a way to communicate that or to make that happen. So I'm just trying to bridge that gap.
And that gap is being bridged by you. Huge work that you're doing, huge, pretty much contributions that you're doing for not just the scene, not just the community, but pretty much for our people. So huge shouts out to you. Huge shouts out to you for giving me a great. Thank you so much. Do you have any last words, any last promotions, any last propaganda for the people?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm coming out with a new album. It should be out in August. It's called Profess.
Ooh, all right.
So that'll be out very shortly. Um, it'll be out on cassette tape. It's going to be out on MP3 cassettes, which they look just like a cassette tape, but they flip out and it's a USB player or a USB stick. So that, and it's going to be out on lathe cuts for people that like to play spin records and stuff. And I think that's all the formats it's going to be out. But anyway, and then so that news, and I also have been selling these T-shirts that I have coined T-shirts for the revolution. So I have those. I wanted to show a few of them. I'm gonna go back inside and I'll just show a few of them. But like they are $20 a pop, and yeah, if you just want to DM me, I have sizes small through 3XL. Let me go show those real quick.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that is probably about it as far as what I'm doing. And yeah, I'm just like so thankful that you have had me on here, honestly.
Thankful for
And
you having. I'm thankful for you joining me. All I really do is just ask people. Like it's rare that come to ask me for anything. I used to ask y'all because I want y'all to join me. Oh, cool. I've seen that shirt actually.
this woven in shirt. That's also a T-shirt for the revolution. Need more shirts with black people on them. And yeah, so that's just a couple. I won't show them all to you, but it also comes in black.
Got it. So
Oh, wait, let me show Braxton.
yeah, show Braxton. Yeah, there you go. That's the
Ain't
start. That's what we wanted. Yeah,
ain't he a ham?
but yeah. Huge shouts out to everybody that's been on the live, whether it's 1 second, 1 minute, or the entire show. Huge shouts out to IG for not screwing this live up, because trust me, I've seen it commented along the way, but you didn't. Good job, IG. Coming up next on Inside the Rapper Studio tomorrow, we have Demo Tape's own Jordan Taylor, BDJ in the building, BD from the. We're going to be talking about his work with Demo Tape, talking about his work with Working Title Podcast, also talking about pretty much being a writer during the quarantine, things like that. Pretty exciting stuff waiting up for us tomorrow. But right now, it is giveaway time. I got 5 passwords this week to give away. We are on number 3. I gave away the previous 2 on the previous 2 episodes, 71 and 72. Today's episode for 73 password is Jasmine. 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 That is the password for today. Collect all 5 at the end of the week. Get a robe, hat, and a sticker all in one for the free ski. It's free stuff, people. Free stuff. Nothing's wrong with free stuff. Get a hat, not this robe, but get a robe, get a sticker. Easy money, you know? So, on behalf of your host, Gaurav Swayze, and our wonderful guest of episode 73, Mariah Fortune, I would like to tell everybody thank you very much. And as always, wash your hands, wear a mask, and thanks, Mariah.
All right, take care. Good night.
See you.